The big May the 4th set for 2023 for LEGO Star Wars has finally been revealed as the UCS X-Wing Starfighter, and I'm a little bit confused honestly, because there is an excessive amount of hate online about this set, and I have a theory why that I'm going to explain in just a couple minutes, but I just want to explain why I don't think this is all that bad of a set in the grand scheme of things. But let's take a look real quick. It's the X-Wing Starfighter. It has 1,949 pieces, 2 minifigures, and retails for $240, releasing, of course, on May 4th, 2023, or as us Star Wars fans affectionately know as May the 4th. Now, one important thing to note is that this is actually a remake of a previous set. This was a remake of the Red 5 X-Wing Starfighter, effectively a remake. They're not calling it quite that. Although LEGO's website does say there's a new version of the set, and when you click learn more, it takes you to the new one, so I guess it is a remake in a way. But anyway, it's a retired product. If we go to Brickset, this set ran from June 1st, 2013 through December 31st, 2015, so a year and a half run. It retailed for $200 and had 1,559 pieces. So taking a look at these two sets, I do want to point out something kind of interesting. If you pull out the trusty rusty calculator, we're going to take the number of pieces from the original set. So we'll go back to Brickset here. And if I can do my math right, which I never can quite do, we're going to do 1,559 pieces divided by $200, which gets us to roughly 7.79 or 8 cents a piece. We'll just go with 8 cents a piece. I think I did that math right. One never can tell with me. And then if we go to the new X-Wing fighter, which comes out again in just a few weeks, we have 1,949 pieces, 1,949 divided by $240, which is $8, what am I even saying, Ryan? 8 cents, 8.12 cents, so effectively around 8 cents. So like a third to, let's say half a penny more per piece, which considering inflation and LEGO's increase in prices, we're right about the same dollar amount, penny amount, cents amount, price point amount, you know what I mean. The price per piece count of the sets is almost identical. We're just gonna go ahead and say they're identical because of things like inflation. So we're looking at basically a remake of an old set that has effectively more pieces in the same price per piece count, which I really don't think is that bad. But we're gonna go into a few of the specifics here. You'll see there's some really cool new details that LEGO introduced with this version of it. So for example, you have the X-Wing foils, and then the, what's this part called? I'm a horrible LEGO fan. As a 10-year-old kid, I would have known this. What's this part right here? The part where the lasers shoot out of. Tell me in the comments, because I'm obviously drawing a really bad Star Wars fan blank. But anyway, I love the detail in this section right here, because unlike the original set from a bunch of years ago, which was a fine set for sure, nothing specifically wrong with it, you just have these kind of standard hinge pieces. But in the new set, we're adding some texture by actually making this out of flippers from the LEGO Divers line from like 25 years ago, which is pretty great. Comparing the two again, it's an X-Wing, so there's not gonna be too many differences here. But this is the older version of the set. Again, it's fine for what it was almost 10 years ago, actually exactly 10 years ago, but you do have more streamlined pieces. The angles are a lot better, where you have maybe like a 15-degree angle kind of splitting this part of the nose here, where in the old version, it was kind of flat. Again, fine for 10 years ago. And the more you can spread a set out the geometry into more angles and more kind of 3D layers in a way. I know the whole set's 3D, but the more you can add angles to it, the better a set looks in my opinion. So already with the nose piece, you already have something that looks more geometrically accurate than the 10-year-old version did. And even down into the fuselage little area here, you can see that you do have one Technic piece going across with what looks to be some sort of tool piece moving up to split the difference of the traditional look of the X-Wing fuselage. And you have that here for sure too, but it is thinner, which adds a little bit more realism to, it's a fake story anyway, but you know what I mean. It's more similar to what we would have seen in the actual model they made for the movie. Moving on, we have the back of the ship, not the same angle, so it's kind of hard to tell completely. But it's a similar build techniques for both for sure. You do have, again, more detail in this back section. It looks like you have some LEGO ice skate pieces on their sides, which is pretty epic here. And you even have a little LEGO, like Nintendo, Xbox, whatever it is, gaming console piece. Just again, a lot more pieces of LEGO's more unique offerings over the last 10 years to round out the different details that one would expect from this set. Again, nothing wrong per se with the old set, but again, I think you're paying the increased price, you're paying for more pieces, for more detail. Kind of like the Lego Lord of the Rings Rivendell set, it just has like a billion tile pieces for its roof. It looks epic. It adds to the piece count, it makes it more expensive, but it looks pretty stinking great. And then even moving to the top of the ship, again, same deal over and over again. You've got some fine detail 10 years ago, but much better detail now. You even have some asymmetrical pieces here. You just have better piece choices to work with these days. And I really like how it looks like someone modded the ship. Not that this one, it doesn't look like that, but it looks a little bit more, there's wrenches and different things in the top portion, which I think is pretty stinking great. And of course, one of the main differences is that the old version did not, to my understanding, contain Luke Skywalker or any pilot. It had R2-D2, but of course the new set has the new and improved R2-D2 along with Luke Skywalker. Again, there's a million different Luke Skywalkers at this point, but still, you think if you're gonna buy a UCS set, you want to have the minifigure that goes with that set. So I do think it looks like it's minifigure scale, unlike the original versions or any kind of child's toy version of the X-Wing that has come out isn't quite minifigure scale. This one absolutely looks like it's minifigure scale for sure. So the big problem that I think people have is the fact that this set is effectively a remake, and for something as big as May the 4th, the biggest Lego Star Wars drop day of the year arguably, is that we're getting a remake of an older set, and some people are just not okay with that. And I understand to an extent, if you're a fan of Lego and have been for years and years and decades, seeing a remake roll around instead of something new, I can see how that would be a little bit frustrating. But I do want to present this perspective as well. There are people, myself included, who had a very long Lego Dark Age, or even are just getting into Lego the first time and missed out on a set like this. There's just a lot of people who missed out on the set originally, and I do think that it is cool for Lego to effectively reintroduce very popular, especially Lego Star Wars ships from time to time, once a decade or so, because it is such a popular IP, and it is a shame for something like the X-Wing or even the Millennium Falcon, which has been made twice now, for it to have one run and that's it, and then good luck getting on the aftermarket for anything less than the cost of like a house mortgage. And I don't expect Lego to do this with every single set, but I do think it is nice of them to respect a portion of their fans by giving them a set that they may have missed out on, every decade or so. Now, they make it different enough that the old version, if you have that, or if you want to get that, it still will be worth something. This is not the exact same thing, even though similar building techniques are used, and it is still the same ship in the end, but it is different enough. We're using different techniques, we're using different pieces than Lego did 10 years ago. So it is different enough in a way, and I do think that, again, I'm not trying to really call out the haters too much, because I get it. If you've been into Lego for years and years and you're excited about seeing the new May the 4th sets and this is what you get, I totally get your disappointment. 100% do for sure. But at the same time too, I do think we have to remember that Lego ultimately is, a community thing for sure, and we should be happy for the people who get a chance to get this set that didn't get it the first time around. I mentioned that I'm in that camp, and will I be getting this set? Sadly, no. I do think it's really cool for sure, but my Lego budget is limited, and I did the Lego Star Wars thing already. I first got into Lego Star Wars in 1999 when the IP was announced for Lego and released for Lego, and had the original X-Wing and had a great time with it. And I just don't really feel the need to buy a UCS X-Wing at this point. I think if I hadn't gotten into Lego Star Wars almost 25 years ago, I would absolutely consider it. But at this point, just my Lego priorities are elsewhere. So I think it's a great set. I won't be buying it personally. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this set, and until next time, happy building.